On SchuZ Views, episode 28, you're not going to miss it. We kick off the Strive for Greatness and Blue Chip series with Amire Robinson. It's going to be big time. Stay tuned for that right after the first topic. What will I be discussing for you guys? Oh, I'm going to hit up all about the 2018 update. I'm going to give you all about the 2018 NBA draft class. I'm going to let you guys know how they played this year. I'm going to let you know about the potential and so much more. Then, I'm also going to give you guys a free agency update. Some of the moves that continue to back up, and you're not going to miss what I have to say about those moves as the season comes closer and closer every day, and boy, am I excited. Don't forget to go follow me at Schumaker on Instagram or Twitter so you guys can stay up to date on all news. With that being said, though, I say we get right into episode 28. It's going to be a big time one, so let's get going. What's going on, everyone? I hope that everyone's had a very incredible week and is ready for a very blessed weekend. Before I go any further, I want to introduce myself. I'm your host, SchuZ Schumaker, and I'm at my home in Gilbert, Arizona. You know, you're not going to miss, though, because after the first topic, NCBC star Amire Robinson kicks off the highly anticipated series, including the SFG and NCBC series. Before that, though, I want to give an update and an outlook on what the 2018 NBA rookie class was like, and what I see them being in the future. So, let's get right into it. So there hasn't been too many crazy stuff going down this past week, so I decided to hit up something that some of you guys recommended I do back when you first started when I asked for stuff in my stories. That being said, I'm going to talk about this year's draft class, my take on it, the top players from based on performance from the first year, and then who I think they're going to pan out in terms of the potential. There's a lot of stuff going down. You guys know my thing about this draft class. I'm going to restate it. You guys might have forgot a lot of them. We haven't talked about Luka. We haven't talked about a few guys because maybe they just haven't been in the media as much. But listen. I truly do believe this draft class will be amongst the best. It'll be amongst the best of the 2003 with LeBron James, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Melo, and company. It'll be along the company of the Michael Jordan and company and Hakeem Olajuwon and all those great guys there. It'll be one of those greatest ones, but even better. I think this has a chance, and this probably will be, the greatest draft class in NBA history. Because yes, you see the front-end stars. You've got your Luka, Trae Young, DeAndre, Marvin. You got Jackson. You got Robinson. You got all these guys, but then you fill out. How many of these guys do you see being in the NBA for 8+ years? Being legit NBA veterans in this league. I mean, I look down this list, I see at least 30, if not more. I mean, very well, you could have more than that. I mean, this is something special, folks. I love it. I love seeing this, and this draft class is something that is not to be messed with. So I'm going to talk about performance and how I rank them based on their rookie years. Not potential, not how I see them in the future, just how they played the rookie years. Now, obviously, you see, like I said, potential means that they might get more opportunity as they get older. Maybe they get more and more adjusted. They're younger, whatever it may be. I'm just going by who performed the best this year. So number one, obviously, is rookie of the year, Luka Doncic. Is there much to dispute there? Yes, Trae Young was spectacular, but obviously Luka was better throughout the course of a year. Trae Young was incredible the second half of the year, no doubt. But Luka still had more in majority of stat categories. And this is one of those things truly where I say probably any of the year he might win. I feel like we say that a lot, but that word is overused. So yes, Trae Young is second. And third is DeAndre Ayton. He was very underrated. No one talked about him, but he was a double-double machine that brought it every night, and is going to be someone great. Speaking of DeAndre, though, I do still believe that Phoenix might have messed up. Not in terms of DeAndre. Don't get me wrong. DeAndre's something special. He will be a 8-9-time All-Star potentially. I think he's going to be one of the best big men in the league. But my opinion is big men are cheaper now, and you only need them to do one thing. Even Joel Embiid is not able to win championships by himself right now. It doesn't get done like that. But that's Embiid that can shoot the three, is more dominant, taller, stronger, all that. DeAndre's not shooting that much. So I just wonder, you need to have a shot-blocking center, but that's why I think they needed a forward like Marvin Bagley, but that's a story for another time. But DeAndre Ayton, yes, he was the third best rookie in terms of playing. He played a majority of the season's games. Number 4 is Colin Sexton. That man was a stud. He was a stud. And if you guys remember, back last summer, 1 year ago, I was saying on that story on my Instagram story, I talked about who's better, who you'd rather take, D'Angelo or Colin Sexton. Majority of people said Sexton. And they were right. Not necessarily right, but they showed up. And it's true. He did show up and he surprised me. But obviously, D'Angelo took the step I knew he would take. And yeah, the rest is there. But Sexton's something special. I like the guy. I think him and Garland's going to be something a lot like what they're planning on them being. I see a lot of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in those two potentially, if not even better. It's going to be a little mix-up between it, but yeah. Marvin Bagley was the 5th best player. And once again, you might wonder, how did the all first-team NBA, because it's not enough guards. Obviously, Luka Trae Young guard, yeah. Marvin Bagley, fifth best player. He didn't play a lot. He was hurt a lot on and off, but when he played, he was a stud. He outplayed, got every rookie he really played against. It's Marvin Bagley, and that's why I think he's going to be one of the top players. I'm going to talk about that in potential in a little bit. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the sixth best player. He missed the majority of the second half of the season. He was incredible while he played. If you remember, a rookie, when he was in the beginning of the season, literally came in and had a huge comeback against Brooklyn Nets at Barclays before Brooklyn won the run. He's big time. He can shoot. He can score. He's confident. He's long, lengthy. He's going to be something special to behold. Kevin Knox is the seventh best. He did have a lot of consistency issues, but he still produced at a high level for the New York Knicks. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is number 8. He obviously went through the playoffs. He obviously did not have enough rebounds and assists and steals and all that necessarily, but he still was a great player that brought his game every night in, night out. I think it's going to continue to develop into a very special guard that Oklahoma City now has. But for the Clippers last year, he was special. Number 9 is his backcourt teammate, and Landry Shamet. Was huge for Philadelphia in the beginning of the year, being a young guy coming in on a playoff contending roster, championship contending roster to be honest, and was producing shooting. Then he went to LA and obviously lit it up, averaging 12.5, 13 points, whatever it might have been. Number 10 was Wendell Carter. He missed almost half the season, but the games we saw him, he played at a very high level, and I had to do it. It was only right to give him number 10. Number 11 is the guy I'm very high on, Mitchell Robinson. He didn't play literally anything until the very end of the season, but that very end of the season was something spectacular, which is why I got him number 11 in this kind of draft class. I mean, the guy was one of the top shot blockers in the entire NBA. He averaged a historic amount of blocks. He's going to be someone that's going to be an elite Rudy Gobert type of player. Number 12, Mikal Bridges was one of the top stealers in the entire NBA. He produced at a nice level there, very good, just walked in Phoenix, a very inconsistent system. I mean, you had Josh you're competing with, TJ Warren for a lot. He had a reason to start the season. A lot of inconsistency in Phoenix. He found a way to just be consistent and find his role. Love it. 13, Kevin Huerter. You guys, I mean, a lot of people talk about how great he's going to be. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. But I'm just not sure how we rank him so high. Like, I like 13 for him. He was a good player, but he only has about 8.5, 9 points a game. That's where I'm going to put him. I like him, though. Number 14, Alonzo Trier. He killed at some games. He was inconsistent. That's where the average comes out to where it's about a little over 10 and about 11 points per game. Number 15 is the Brooklyn Nets, Rodion Kurucs. Came out of nowhere. Really had the issue with a potential lottery first-round pick a couple years ago. Had the whole overseas issue. Fell to Brooklyn in the second round. And obviously came in and got a few minutes there and there. Had a little injury. Bounced back and was a huge person where when he started, Brooklyn was a playoff team. He was key for Brooklyn as a rookie. Jalen Brunson's number 16. He started the big time on the end of the year when they started shutting down Luka. After the trade happened, they were just shutting down players. He was big time. Scoring double digits the majority of those games. Big time leader. I like the way Brunson played last year. Josh Okogie, he played at number 17. He's another good player. I really like his game. He's got a lot of athleticism. He has a lot of play that. It's going to be interesting in Minnesota when you got Wiggins, Rocco, you got Culver now, you got Okogie. You got a lot of pieces there, small forward. We'll see what they have to do out there, though, to fit them all in, if not trade. 18, Miles Bridges. He didn't have the best season, but we saw that Euro step win me. Oh, boy. That's why I'm going to have him a little bit higher when you see in the potential. Just wait for that. But Miles Bridges had a solid year. Started on the end of the year again for Charlotte, but I think he's big time. Troy Brown really showed up on the end of the year when they started shutting down players. I knew he was special. I love his game. Obviously, you watched him kill it in the Summer League. He's something special to behold. I love what Washington's got in Troy Brown. Chandler Hutchinson, he sat out a lot, about a third of the season, I'd say. He also was a good player when he played. Starting to get his consistency before he got hurt. Hopefully he bounces back, but hopefully the window's not closed for him also in Chicago. Devontae Graham obviously had the highest turnover assist ratio, not just as rookies, but entire NBA by a long shot. One of the greatest in NBA history. He was spectacular for Charlotte. Big time player for them on the playoff run, trying to make the playoffs at the end of the year. Number 22, Kenrich Williams, really showed up after the Anthony Davis scenario went down. Played well for New Orleans, was able to go in there and start, and just played at a very good level. Not sure where he's going to be in the NBA long term, but he was good as a rookie right there. D'Anthony Melton for Phoenix, number 25, and following that, or 23, number 24 is Okogo, Elie Okobo. They both played very good for Phoenix, bouncing in and out of who's starting. There wasn't much consistency at point guard. They both needed time to develop. You don't throw second-round picks into the fire like that to lead a team at point guard. That doesn't work out. That's what Brooklyn did Isaiah Whitehead, and it burned them out, and really was not the best. But I really do like Melton. I really do like Okobo. Melton obviously is in Memphis. I think it's going to give him time to learn and develop with that young core. Tyus Jones. I like that group for him. Elie Okobo is still with Phoenix. We'll see what happens there. Aaron Holiday, number 25, is in and out of the rotation a lot, but I expect a huge jump from Aaron Holiday in the upcoming year. I really, truly do like Aaron Holiday's game big time. Now, Amari Spellman for number 26. He averaged about a good 5 points. Was a good shooter for Atlanta. he has some work to do as well. Now they got traded out to Golden State for Damian Jones, but I do like his game. Get to Bates Diop, played big time in the last couple of weeks of the season, was on and off in the rotation, mostly in the G League last year, but I do like his game as well. He fits in there. Jalen Carter, good defensive player, had some good moments, not others not so well. Mostly just got a lot of playing time in the tanking efforts. Jonathan Williams obviously showed up big time for the Lakers, not under contract right now, but he was huge for the Lakers in the end of the year, just showing energy, showing he can play, and I hope he gets a spot in the NBA because he truly does deserve it. Number 30, Hamidou Diallo, he had that big injury where he sat out a little bit. He missed a lot of games that way, but I truly do see the potential. He showed up big time in the summer league. I do like what Diallo is going to bring. But that's what I got for the top 30 rookies based on performance in their rookie seasons. Coming up next, we're going to kick off the highly anticipated Strive for Greatness in North Coast Blue Chip series with none other than the starter and one of the top players for the North Coast Blue Chips, Amire Robinson. Stay tuned, everyone. You're not going to miss what he has to say. I'm excited to be able to kick off the Strive for Greatness in North Coast Blue Chip series with one of the North Coast Blue Chip's best players in Amire Robinson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good. Let's get right into talking about NCBC. So why did you originally decide to play with North Coast?
Well, originally when first I've never heard of them until one of the tournaments down in Michigan. It was about fifth grade. I was going to with a local team that I played with in Illinois. So my friend was like, "Oh, we about to play with LeBron's son," saying all this stuff. And then so when we went down there, I had this like this chip on my shoulder, like I gotta go down there and like kill them. Maybe you know what I mean, like what everybody basically do when they play us.
Yeah.
So as we went down there, we had played them, and I just went crazy against them. I think I had like 25 or something points against them, and we ended up beating them by a good I think 5 or 10. So then after that, they had asked me to come play with them in the USBA Nationals in North Carolina. And then so we went down there, played. We made it to the championship and had lost. Oh no, we won down there in fifth grade. We had won, and ever since fifth grade summer, I've been playing with them ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. So I mean, obviously the team has changed a lot since the beginning of it to now. But talk about the team right now and just talk about some of the players on there and what they bring to the table.
Everybody has certain roles to the table. They bring to the table. Like we have a great backcourt, like Khoi. We got Brandon, Gabe. Bronny's transitioning more into like a guard now, so he's handling the ball more. And basically, like everybody on our team can rebound and go up the court with it. We have Moot that just joined the team. Landon, two good people that we added to the team. Both bigs that are down low that can rebound and still push the floor, can each shoot. And John and Luke do a job down low, rebounding, post scoring. So everybody does their job on the team, and we work well together.
No doubt. And talk a little about Coach Joe and the rest of the coaching staff brings to the team too.
Coach Joe and Coach Cubs are two great coaches. They work together really well and communicate, and they do good on and off the court, making sure we all stay together, stay as a brotherhood, and stay as a team. Play calling, like keeping our heads in the game, like everything they do very well.
No doubt. Let's talk a little more about the brotherhood build. So talk about how you guys have kind of been able to build like a super strong connection with each other and how that transitions on and off the court.
Oh yeah, totally. So we last year and the year before, we've been going to tournaments and just spending like all this time with each other on and off the court. We went to North Carolina and Vegas, so we spent like 2 full weeks with each other. And we've done that 2 years in a row, so we've gotten to know each other like very well. Yeah. And it's basically just like another family during the summer for us. And that helps on the floor because you can talk to each other without like one person getting mad and all this stuff. And it's like good communication. We talk to each other on the court and all that stuff.
No doubt. So let's talk a little bit more about being a part of North Coast Blue Chips. So what's it necessarily like for you, and what's the atmosphere like when you play games and all that?
It brings a huge chip on your shoulder. You know, you walking into the gym and every tournament we play, or every pool play, like everything we play is our championship game because everybody comes and plays us with their A game, and so we're playing kids that probably have their best game of their life against us, and and we always have to play like championship games like the whole weekend while they're all playing pool games. Yeah. So it's very difficult. Plus, you have all those people watching you. All these cameras, you just gotta block all that stuff out, and then also be able to play and like play your heart out.
No doubt. So what would you say, in your opinion, are some of the best parts about playing with North Coast?
The best part is probably our
Mm-hmm.
energy, and just the way we bond off the court, really,
No
and
doubt.
like just being on the court with them. Like I know when we're going to go out, it's going to be a good game. I know off the court after the game, I know we're all going to be with each other and hang out. So I know
Mm-hmm.
every weekend, I know we have a tournament. It's going to be fun.
No doubt. So talk a little bit more about, since you've been there, what's some of the changes that's been to the roster?
Changes their bench to the roster. So right now, when I started playing, when I started playing, and the people that are still playing right now are me, Khoi, Gabe, Bronny, and that's about it. So far, we had Rayvon Lee, which was a big factor. We had
Mm-hmm.
we had Rayvon Lee, Rod Lee, which was also two huge factors for us,
Mm-hmm.
and right, and then we had Mikey Lee, which he only played a few tournaments with us, but I don't really think he did make an impact on the team, but not big enough to where we needed to find new players.
Mm-hmm.
But
Definitely.
after Rayvon left and Rod left, we just had to reach out and find some new players. And I think that we've matched or maybe even better than what we had.
No doubt. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, obviously, as you go, I mean, it is a different experience being a part of North Coast, and obviously, there's a different atmosphere and all that. And then it's obviously something where everyone's super talented, so it's not necessarily like one guy is always able to necessarily just stand
For
out.
sure, for
So, I
sure,
mean,
for
obviously,
sure.
being able to go change around and go to different teams can always help a player as well, but also being able to bring in new guys is huge too.
Exactly.
So, talk a little about your role on the team and what you bring to the table every game.
My role, I think my role is basically just to make the right plays. Basically, like every time I go down the court, I feel like the ball does come in my hand at least once or twice, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I need to make a play with it, whether it's either taking it to the rack or finding the next open person. I
Mm-hmm.
think I need to get multiple rebounds, offense and defense, and push the ball, try to get easy fast break layups.
No
I'm
doubt.
trying to spread out my game,
Mm-hmm.
to where I start shooting a little bit more. But on this team, I feel like that those are basically my main roles.
Yeah, I mean, definitely watching. I mean, obviously, everyone plays a pretty big role on the team. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, yours kind of like that. Draymond Green kind of like you just mesh and you just do the right things, and then you step up when you need to, but also you do this dirty work and you do what's needed to win games too.
exactly.
So far this season, what's been your favorite tournament you played in?
My favorite tournament has to be Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, the crowd we had there, the energy, like it was just crazy. Off the court, we had all the fans storming us,
Mm-hmm.
and we had some really huge games actually against Team Griffin. That was probably one of the most fun games because we had to go into triple overtime,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing
Wow.
was we had to play a 6'9" player and a 7-footer, and Luke and Jaw had got fouled out, so we had to go two overtimes with me playing big against a 7-footer, and we still managed like to. That's what I'm talking about, like how our brotherhood comes in because we
Mm-hmm.
fought through it and won. But the sad thing is we did lose that tournament. But right after that three overtime game, we had to play the championship right after.
Oh
So
wow.
that's what I was saying about like we play multiple championships. Like I feel like that was our championship, but it really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt. So personally for you, what has been your favorite highlight play or the favorite play that you remember from the season so far?
From this season, oh, it's not even me. It's Ja. When Ja dunks, there's multiple times when he dunks and tries to break the rim. That is the funniest, and like it gets us all hyped and going. So that
Mm-hmm.
probably has to be the highlight of the season.
No doubt. I mean, let's talk a little also about your big block you had. I mean, obviously a lot of people know the game winner that Bronny had right before it. But I mean, if you didn't
Yeah.
have that block, you just still would have lost the game. So talk a little about that play and how you timed it up and was able to get a huge chase down block to win the game.
Well, I was the only one back at the time, and I just saw one dude coming in, so I just ran at the rim because I'd rather him shoot than have an easy layup. So I just ran at the rim to protect it, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw him coming at me, and I noticed that like he had a wide open layup, so I had to contest. And
Yeah.
so I just basically jumped up. And if I fouled him, I fouled him because either way he had a layup. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I just went up. I saw the ball. He barely got off the ground. The ball was just right there in my hand. So I timed it perfectly, hit it, and then timer ran out.
No doubt. I mean, that definitely was a thing that went viral all over the place. And I mean, like I said, obviously a lot of people think of it for the the game winner shot by Bronny, which was big time. I mean, the block was just as important, and obviously that's what won a big time game for you guys.
Yeah, it was a big game for us.
Mm-hmm. So talk about your expectations. I think Vegas is one of your guys' last tournaments of the year. So talk about what you guys
Yeah.
want to do there and what you expect to have done.
This needs. I think we really need to win this because so far throughout this year we've been losing in like the semifinals and in the championship games, which really shouldn't like have happened. We just been we kept letting teams come back when we have a sustainable lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we have a good lead and keep pushing it down their throats and keep going, I think we should be able to win this tournament. I think we have the right players and everything. We just need the dog in us to come out.
No doubt. So now obviously you also play a couple of times with the other Northwest Blue Chip team. So
Yeah.
what's it like playing with that team? And I think it's you and Khoi that play together. So what's it like playing on that team?
There's just a lot more freedom. There's not as much talent on that team, to be honest. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of freedom that me and Khoi have on that team. Me and Khoi try to bring what we put on the table for our real Blue Chips team to our other Blue Chips team.
Mm-hmm.
We just go out there and just play as hard as we can and try to get the job done as we do on the other team.
Mm-hmm. So how does your role necessarily change from the two different teams?
On this other team, I basically am more of a scorer. I'm more of like one of our main scorers and more of a guard like type.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I do handle the ball a lot more, take a lot more shots, like, and basically am our main like offensive playmaker and scorer as long as well as Khoi.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both dominate the ball and probably average the most points on that team together too.
No doubt. I mean, it's definitely something that's good too. I mean, you get two different experiences, being able to be obviously playing within a role of a great team, but also being able to go work on your craft and becoming better and better as a player yourself.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your high
Exactly.
school decision and what you're necessarily looking forward to in this upcoming season.
So for high school, I had and my options were basically St. V, Bookjoel, and Copley. And
Mm-hmm.
for St. V, I decided not to go there because of all the people that are coming over. They have a bunch of older guys, and I just don't feel like I could fit in and play my role over there.
Okay.
They have a lot of guards, which I'm trying to transition into. Have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of guards over there. And they're all old. They're all older, so I'm the guards would probably play over me. And if
Mm-hmm.
I were to start, I would probably start as a four, which wasn't looking forward to. So
Yeah.
then, I decided to go to Copley for 1 year because I also have an older brother, which is a senior. I just decided to play one last year with him, and me and Khoi both get to dominate the ball next year. If
Okay.
Khoi does decide to go to Copley, we can both
Mm-hmm.
dominate the ball next year and help lead our team to a finals, hopefully.
Awesome. That's awesome. So I guess we can talk a little about Khoi right now then. So how is your relationship with Khoi and how does that translate on and off the court?
Khoi is our point guard, so you're going to have a great relationship with him, handling
Mm-hmm.
the ball and taking care of the offense. And I did happen to move right by him, and we did go to the same school last year. So I feel
Okay.
like our connection and our bond has gotten a lot tighter.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying there is it? So is he going to play at your high school or is he still deciding?
He's still deciding, but hopefully he's leaning more towards Copley for at least 1 year.
That's awesome. Talk a little more about your team. So what's other guys that surround you guys and what do they bring to the table?
We have my brother, which is a big. He's kind of a stretch big, so he can shoot and take it down low, and
Okay.
get rebounds for us. So that does help us out a lot. We have this kid named AJ Campbell. He's kind of built like me, like he's not as tall, but real thick. Can get
Mm-hmm.
boards, can get rough. He's also a stretch, so we have those two that can shoot and also get down low and get physical. Right now, we're probably going to have someone off of JV play up next year to fill in
Okay.
for our three spot, and but we don't know who yet. And then our two backcourts will be me and Khoi.
That's awesome. Has there ever been a kid school you kind of rooted for since you've been younger, or is it just been you just kind of like basketball in
Uh,
general?
Texas Tech probably because that's where I was born in Lubbock, and my dad also coached for Texas Tech when I was
Okay.
born. So probably so I'm gonna have to go with Texas Tech.
Okay, that's awesome. So in terms of high school, is there anyone you really would want to team up with, like anywhere in the country, or?
Chris Livingston was one, which was Bookdale. I really did want to
Mhm.
go over there and play with him. If I were to transfer my sophomore or junior year or something like that, would be to Bookdale to play with him,
Okay.
and also my brother, which is one of the reasons I'm staying at Copley.
I mean, that's definitely be something cool to be able to play alongside your brother at least for 1 year.
Yeah.
So in terms of all the NBA players right now, who is someone you kind of always dreamed of playing with?
Oh, definitely Paul George. That is one of my favorite players right now.
Hmm.
Like just his game plan, he could do it all. He played defense. He could shoot the three, drive, handle the ball. He's kind of that all around player, which I'm trying to be.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little more about Paul George. So what's your thoughts on the trade?
To be honest, I was kind of mad because
Hmm.
I like both players, Russell and Paul George.
Hmm.
But I feel like if it was the right move for Paul George, if he was one, if because I feel like they have a more chance of winning a ring if he goes over there. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk a little bit more about when did you first originally start playing basketball?
When I was first, when I was young, like very young, my parents always had like that little mini hoop. I'm sure like a lot of people had. I
Hmm.
just started off there was like playing with it, but I wasn't really taking it serious. I was just shooting there because it was there. I was doing it for fun, but I didn't start taking it serious until actually in fifth grade when I beat the Blue Chips. Like I was like, man, they was like the number one team in the country. I just had 25 on them and beat them. It really hit me that like, oh, I might have like a chance at this. So then I started taking it more serious and doing
Hmm.
more workouts and trying to get on better teams, like the Blue Chips, join them, and just keep trying to work it and get better.
That's awesome. So when was your first dunk you've ever had?
First dunk was at sixth going into seventh. I had a dunk, but it was one of those things where like you didn't get it on video and you want to be like, oh look, I dunked, and no one believed you.
Hmm.
First on camera dunk was seventh grade.
Okay, that's awesome. So what's one part of the game you've really worked on this past summer?
Really worked on. I've been trying to transfer into a guard this summer, so I've been really doing work on my ball handling and shooting and making the right passes. So becoming a guard basically.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I mean, that's something that, I mean, you hear a lot of stories. I mean, always having the guard aspect to your game is key, especially in today's basketball. I mean, obviously,
Exactly.
if you also shoot up like Anthony Davis did to 7 foot when you're going to college or something, then obviously you have guard skills as a big man, which is huge. But I mean, always just having that's huge for your career.
For sure. For sure.
We'll talk about your daily day in terms of workouts. Like, how often do you work out? What kind of workouts do you do?
Me and Khoi work out a bunch together. Basketball training with God's Court Connor. He's a good
Hmm.
trainer to live by us. Will probably be like three to four times a week also,
Okay.
and but you have to put that together. Like when school comes, you always got to put school first. So I have to make sure all my schoolwork is done, and then be able to go out there and train.
No doubt. I mean, that's definitely something that you always have to value. I mean, even the best of the best, still making sure you get the education is always a big time thing.
Exactly.
So, what part of your game do you take the most pride in?
Just that I'm very physical. I will
Mm,
if you're taking a charge on me, I will make you feel it.
no doubt. So, who would you say would be the best player you've ever played alongside?
The best player I ever played alongside. To be honest, I'm just going to have to say the Blue Chips because every player on there is probably the best. All of them are the best players I've ever played with.
Hmm.
I have played with some other great players. But the Blue Chips, like that whole team, is probably the best people I've ever played with.
No doubt. So, when you talk about who would you say has been like the best player you've ever played against?
The best player I ever played against. I will have to go with Elijah Fisher on that one.
Hmm.
We were going head to head in it at the D Ridge camp. I've yet to play him in a real like game besides a
Hmm.
camp, but we was going head to head in that camp.
That's something that a lot of people don't necessarily realize as much because he doesn't necessarily have as much Instagram fame as like a lot of other people do.
Yeah,
But he's someone that obviously, if you people watch him and people will learn his name soon enough. But he's someone that obviously he can score. Well, he really is like a superstar player for the modern day NBA, especially.
yeah.
So in terms of this, so let's talk a little bit more about the NBA. So who would you say has been your favorite NBA team, or is your favorite NBA team?
It was OKC because I like Steven Adams. He kind of reminded me of a little bit of myself when I was younger, body
Hmm.
kids and get rebounds. Um, I like how Russell Westbrook plays just with his energy. And
Hmm.
yeah, some people might say he dominates the ball, doesn't pass
Hmm.
it, and all that stuff. But still a great player, one of the best point guards to ever play.
No doubt.
And Russell and Paul George, the great all around player. So that
Hmm.
team, they were looking nice. They just didn't have what it takes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I always like to defend for Westbrook's side. I mean, from people just slam him a ton, I mean, it's like almost the same thing with LeBron as well. I mean, it's really just pointless. I mean, when you look at it, okay, maybe Westbrook didn't have enough wins and all that, but there's a lot of
Yeah,
those things. I mean, if he was that bad, how is he leading the NBA in assists? I mean,
exactly,
it's just I think he gets unnecessary slam for reasons that I mean, he plays harder than any other player in the entire NBA, which is unfortunate
exactly.
people slam him for, but. Just talk a little about free agency then. What has been some of the biggest surprises and shocks to you?
That Kawhi Leonard, I'm pretty sure that was
Hmm.
for everybody. Cause the
Yeah.
thing was, I either thought he was going to go to LA or stay home. Like the Clippers was like would never cross my mind at all.
Hmm. I
And so
mean,
when I was like, yeah, I was up for that too. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I was looking at my phone and I see that. I was like, what?
hmm.
I thought it was like a meme or something, but no, it was for real.
I was in the middle of recording the free agency recap and all right when it happened, so I had to redo like the entire Western and Eastern Conference one.
Yeah,
But but I mean, I think that one was a huge one. I mean, this whole offseason has been crazy. I mean, like I saw today, someone was talking about like it almost as if you were playing 2K and simmed a couple years. I mean,
exactly.
no one's. I mean, you see, I mean, Westbrook was. I mean, going into the offseason, I think anyone would have saw Westbrook or Paul George. Brooklyn gets their guys. Lakers add AD. Clippers make a
Knicks got
duo.
screwed.
D'Lo's going to Warriors. I mean, it's something that we've never really seen, but truly shows why the NBA is such a great sport.
Exactly.
So, talking about the NBA draft, who would you say will end up becoming the top five players from this year's draft class?
Top five. Um, RJ, I don't know if I want to put him in there or not. I don't know if he just had a bad few games or if this is how he's going to be. Like I can't really tell
Hmm.
until like the season, but like
Yeah.
just going off of college, probably RJ, go throw Zion in there, Kobe White, Ja Morant, and Jackson Hayes. I have to throw my boy Jackson in there. He's been going stupid in the summer league.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it gives credit to Shaka Smart what he's doing on Texas. I mean, the amount of big men that he's created for modern day NBA has been crazy. I mean, when you look at Jackson Hayes, Bamba, Jared Allen, Miles Turner, I mean, they're definitely producing at a high level. And Jackson Hayes looks like he's going to be another legit NBA center.
Yeah,
So
totally
in
agree
what?
with that.
I mean, definitely. I think this draft class is gonna be some. I don't know if it's gonna be. I mean, last year's draft class was insane, like historically great. But I think there's gonna be a lot of just really solid, good players in the NBA for a long time.
Yeah.
So who do you say, in your opinion, when in 1 year from now, where do you want to be as a player? Like, what accomplishments do you want to have, or what do you want to have winning, or what do you want?
Well, for anybody that played basketball to be the number one in the country, like if
Hmm.
you ask anybody, that should be their goal. But
Yeah.
to be like I don't care about rankings, but like just to feel that like everybody has like, oh, he's number one. I'm coming at like him. I
Hmm.
want to have like everybody come at me and be the one to beat. You feel me? Which that's what
Yeah.
I think the blue chips are.
No
But
doubt.
I just want to be that guy that like when I step on the court, like everybody's like, oh, we gotta beat him. We gotta do all this.
Hmm. I mean, definitely that's something that a lot of people could put on the chip, and that's obviously something that portrays a lot of people. But like you said, I mean, that's something key, I think, for all basketball players. I mean, rankings, it's cool to look at maybe, but don't necessarily take it to heart because when you think about it, it's like, especially this last year's draft class, how many of the guys that were top players slid, and then how many guys were unranked went up to the
Yeah,
top first round? I mean, rankings can change drastically. It just depends on how hard the player works and what do they do with that chip.
exactly. And they should use it as motivation. Like if you see someone above you that you don't think
Hmm.
that should be above you, go out there and show them that they shouldn't be above you. You feel me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So in your life so far, who would you say has been your biggest role model?
The biggest role model. Well, I gotta say my parents in that one. I had a lot of people help me throughout my life that like showed like that they did have money. Like a lot of people
Hmm.
from Illinois, they had money and like they basically showed me how to put use to it and
Hmm.
like use it for good. So my parents, show me. They basically raised me right, raised me what to do with money, how to use it, what not to do with it.
Mm,
Taught me how to be a good kid, like not let all this fame go to my head, all that
no
stuff.
doubt. That's awesome. So finally, I would like to wrap it up by talking a lot about some about God. So how would you say He's helped you, and how does He impact your life on the daily day?
He's helped me a lot actually. Before I moved to Ohio, I really didn't go to church, do none of that, or do any of it. Like I believed in him, but I wasn't really into it. But as I moved to Ohio, I found this church. A lot of kids that go to my school go to it. I've been going to it quite a bit, and I felt like basketball's been a lot better, life been a lot better, like everything been a lot better. You feel me?
Hmm. That's awesome. I mean, definitely, that's God's someone that can always, no matter what stage of life you're in, He's there to guide you. And obviously, some people are born into religion with God, and then some people take longer. But it's always great to have the great stories along with it.
Exactly.
Well, it's been great chopping up with you, my guy, and best of luck at the CP3 camp and at Vegas.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, God bless.
You too.
All right, so I let you guys know about the performance of the rookies in their rookie year. But what about the potential? What about the future? That's all coming up next. Stay tuned. You're not going to miss it. All right, folks. So the potential. There's a lot of players in this rookie class. I just said they have the potential to be the greatest rookie class of all time. Greatest single class. That's a very high standard when you're looking at guys like LeBron, D-Wade, Carmelo, and company. When you're looking at guys like Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and so on. But this was the very first thing, as I said, since the MJ class, to have the first 5 picks also make the all-first-team NBA. Now, that's something special and spectacular, but where do these guys stack up in the future? Well, let me break it down to you. Number one, he was the second pick in the draft last year. From Arizona, Marvin Bagley III. Playing for Sacramento, big-time player. I saw him Duke. Everyone knew he should have been the number one pick. A lot of people did, but he wasn't. Listen, a power forward is not as easy to find today. He can shoot the ball. He's shown that. Display that at a high level. He's clearly athletic, one of the most athletic players in the NBA. He's doing everything. Yes, he's a little out of control at times last year, but he slowly moved into his role more and more throughout the rest of the course of the season. And guess what? He just had a whole offseason to work out with Luke Walton and this young core, and him, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, obviously out of Ariza, you got Barnes, you got company. It's something special. I like what Sacramento is doing. I think he will end up being the best player in this rookie class. Now, Luka Doncic, people have talked about it. Zach Lowe responded saying, if you lose 15 pounds, this is a body fat. What does he turn into? That's his next level to do. Well, yeah, it could be something special. I think he's a Hall of Famer. But so is Marvin. So is a couple other guys on the list. Luka's something special. Obviously, he's a player you can build your team around. Your entire franchise can be built around Luka Doncic, and that's why I'm the second best player. Number 3, DeAndre Ayton. Out of Phoenix, yes, he will be something spectacular. Now, I think he has the potential to be a Hall of Fame player. Will he be a player that can win championships with, or at least be around? I don't know. But will his stats be one of the top? Yes. And that's what I see him doing. At some point, I think there will be a time that the era changes again. That has to be. That always is. And that era might either be shooting the ball further back, or there's going to be the most dominant big man come in and just wreak havoc in the NBA. More dominant than Embiid and all these guys, where you go back down to a low post work. Maybe that happens, maybe not. I think there's a high chance that does occur at some point. And that's when DeAndre will flourish, if that is the case. I see him a lot. He reminds me a lot of someone like Dwight Howard. Number 4, Jaren Jackson Jr. I called it. He's long, he's lengthy, he can shoot, he can do everything. He'll be a 10-plus time All-Star. He's something special that Memphis will be able to build around. And they could be a contending player. He's definitely a player you can build a team around for a contending championship team. And especially if John Morant turns out to be who we want him to, that's something special. And of course, what Brandon Clark's doing. Number 5, Trae Young from Atlanta. Yes, and he will be a 5-plus time, 6, 7-time All-Star as well. Maybe even do further than that. I think he might not stay in Atlanta his whole career, but he's something special. I love Trae Young. He clearly showed he can shoot at a very high level. But listen, these guys are all superstars in the NBA. These guys are going to look at the faces of the NBA for a very long time, and Trae Young's in that very same group right there. No reason he can't be. Number 6, Mitchell Robinson. Perfect era for him. Shot blocking. He can go and just run the court, throw lobs to him. Perfect. He's going to thrive like a Rudy Gobert in this player. And yes, Rudy Gobert's stats may not be as crazy, but he's a championship player, and he's a player we all know, and he should have been an all-star. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, number 7. Now newly acquired man for Oklahoma. He's something I'm going to build around. Let him learn from Chris Paul. No, not really any guys better than. If not, I don't think there are any guys better than Chris Paul to learn from. He'll take Shai's game to a whole other level. I love it. That's a player one of the guys you can help build around. Maybe he'll be an all-star a few times. Sexton, same thing as Shai. He's another great player. I think him and Garland will thrive together out in Cleveland and the new system brought in by John Beeline. Now, Miles Bridges for Charlotte. I called you guys. I told him he's going to come up. He was just developing. Yes, Famous Low said he looks like Westbrook with LeBron's body and all. Yeah, he's something special. I don't know how special he is. In that case, he might be a couple-time All-Star. I don't necessarily know what level he is, but he's something special that I truly do love in Miles Bridges for Charlotte. They have a good piece right there. Michael Porter Jr. I don't know. He hasn't played yet, but I'm putting him at number 10. Just because you look at him, he's 6'10", 6'11", whatever you want. He can shoot. I don't know. Something like he's going to be able to play in the NBA. I don't know to what level. Maybe he's just going to be a good player that's a shooter and all. He's a top 30 player from this draft class. Stays in the NBA for a long time. Or he could become an all-star kind of guy that you build a team around. Something like Gordon Hayward. I could see him a lot panning out like that. I really could. Maybe, of course, people said the Carmelo Anthony thing. I don't know. I see him a little different than that, but we'll see. Mohamed Bamba, number 11. He has slipped from the draft, but I still like where he's at. Bamba, someone for Orlando. He didn't play well. I don't think he's going to be staying in Orlando, but he's someone very good. He's a very modern-day shot blocker. He's long, lengthy. He's just like Amire Robinson, but I do like him a lot. He has the potential to be a top 10 player from this draft class. We have to see. He has to get in the right system, which is why I do keep saying I really think that San Antonio should look at a move of moving DeMar DeRozan out to Orlando, or at least Orlando try and offering Aaron Gordon, Mohamed Bamba, maybe adding a couple of young pieces you might have. Not Isaac. Don't touch him. Maybe Chuma, whatever it may be, and a couple of picks. I'm going to go with number 12 is Lonnie Walker. We saw what he could do in a couple of games in the Summer League, averaging 30 points a game. I said he's special. I think DeJounte Murray's locked in. I think Lonnie Walker's locked in. I think you're going to have a battle between Bradenfield to be a backup, but I think you're going to have a battle between Derek White, you got Keldon Johnson, you got a couple guys that's going to be battling for that other spot, with DeRozan having to be gone at some point. Now, at number 13, I got Landry Shamet. I think he's just going to be another great shooter. Stay around in the league for a long time, almost like a J.J. Redick kind of player. You're going to keep him there. Number 14, Kevin Huerter. I like him for Atlanta. I told you guys he's good. He might be able to fall a little bit further, but I like his game. He can shoot. He's a little bit longer tall. He can play the shooting guard, small forward spot. I love his game. Number 15, McCall Bridges. Yes, he's older. He's got that Kyle Kuzma older coming in kind of thing like that going on. I like him. I don't know if his future's long-term at Phoenix, not they brought Oubre, or if Oubre's going to be shipped out soon. We'll see, obviously. But McCall Bridges, I like his game. He's going to be a Trevor Ariza kind of player for a long time. Now, at number 16, I got Kevin Knox. Yeah, he slid quite a bit. Sorry. He's a good player, but he's inconsistent. I'm not sure how he fits in with R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson in this core. We'll see, but I do like what New York's doing. As I said, I think he could fit in pretty well and become a very good player for this squad, but we'll have to see. Now, next up, I got Wendell Carter Jr. Obviously, I think there's a chance he becomes a Jahlil Okafor again. I really do, sadly, but I just don't see it translate. I think Daniel Gafford for Chicago is going to be a sleeper. He's going to come off the bench for the majority of the year. Maybe they're tanking again on the end of the year and ends up starting. We'll see, but I don't know if Wendell's long-term going to be in Chicago. I know they don't want to trade him, but I'm just not sure how good I really like Wendell Carter to that degree. Not saying he can't be in the NBA for a long time. I think he will be, but I'm not sure to what degree. Now, next spot up, I got Zaire Smith. Now, I think it's between Zaire Smith and Anthony Simons, which obviously I'm putting Anthony Simons next up, but I really do like Zaire Smith. He's so athletic, you can see that. I think he's going to fit right into Philly. Now, I do think there's a potential that Josh Richardson coming over might take a spot, but there's a spot on that bench where he can develop for another year or so, at least 1 year, and then maybe a free agent comes up again, and Philly moves him into that starting lineup, almost like what's going on in Milwaukee now, and moving either Dante DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton, one of those guys up. I do like that, but yes, next up, we do have Anthony Simons. I do love him. He's a great player. He's tall. I think he's going to be another Dennis Schroeder kind of player. He's going to be backing up a superstar point guard, MVP caliber point guard for a few years. They're going to trade him with a lot of value and see where he goes from there. I mean, he's just someone I really do. I truly do love his game and the way that guy plays. Now, next spot will be Rodion Kurucs. He's a great player, obviously, for Brooklyn. I think he may not be a superstar stat-wise, but he'll be in the league for a very, very long time. Now, could he be something like Danilo Gallinari and light it up? Sure, but I'm not sure where he would do that, if it will be in Brooklyn or not. But he's going to bring that intensity, that Wilson Chandler kind of body and atmosphere, probably a 12-point per game. That's why I love Wilson Chandler coming in and helping mentor him. Next up is Troy Brown Jr. I talked about it. I love this guy. His cat's a strong player. He can do a lot of things, and he's going to be one of the core pieces for Washington moving forward. Love his game and what he brings to the table. Aaron Holiday's next. He's going to have a big bench role playing alongside his brother now out in Indiana. I love bringing in Justin Holiday. I'll talk about that later. But Aaron Holiday is something I think is going to take another step. We saw a lot of good flashes, killed it at the Summer League, give him that backup role, maybe even some more minutes while Oladipo's gone, but he's going to take a backup role. Obviously, they brought in Brogdon, they brought in Lamb, they have Oladipo, but he's going to develop into that role, maybe take a starting spot eventually in Indiana or somewhere else and be traded. We'll see what happens, but I truly do love him. Now, next spot, I got Keita Bates-Diop. Love the guy's game. I think he has a higher upside than Josh Okogie. I do like his length. I like the way he can defend and play. Big time player there. Next up, I don't know yet. I do have Robert Williams there, but I think he might be able to slide. I just don't know. His high shooting percentage is not high. He's not scoring. Yes, he's athletic and rebound. You gotta get him in a place like Houston, a pick and roll lob city kind of place. That's where he will ultimately end up thriving at. Next up, I got Josh Okogie though, his teammate. I do love his game. Okogie can score. I just don't know how it's going to fit out in Minnesota. There's a lot of pieces that have to be moved. Like I said, there's a lot of. I don't expect offseason to even be close to done. A lot of trades have to happen to fill out these rosters, finish out these rosters, relook these rosters to how the coach feels. I mean, Cleveland doesn't even look right yet. We'll see what goes down. That's what I got. Next up, I got John and Musa. I like him a lot. It's between John and Musa and Trier. I would say I have Okogie, Trier, and Musa all pretty much tied. I think Musa is longer than everyone else. He's more athletic, and not necessarily athletic, but he's longer, more NBA prone. You saw the way just able to shot block. He's still young, still developing. But Alonzo Trier's right there. I put all three of those guys right next to each other. I mean, Alonzo Trier can get buckets. I think he could start very well. But I do like the idea of him coming off the bench. I know everyone's saying, why not start him? Because the bench role is truly a great spot. As you hear later on about some of the people I talked to, we'll talk about how key that bench role truly is. Next up, Schumaker. You saw him kill for Detroit in the Summer League. He's coming. He can shoot. Lights out. Detroit needs to utilize him. He needs to find a home and let him shoot. He might be a guy like Tobias, I'll say to the All-Star level, but just in terms of he'll keep moving around until he finally finds a home, and hopefully that comes sometime soon. Then, Amire Diallo. He was a little surprising rough there, but the Summer League showed me he can still ball, and he's going to be an athletic, great player. Next, on to DiVincenzo at 30. I love the guy's game. Great player from Milwaukee. I think he might be a starter, might be a six-man, we'll see. Then I got Chandler Hutchinson. I like him. Like I said, he was good, but I don't know if he's going to fill in Chicago. Now from here on out, it gets a little rough. I don't know. We'll see. Bonga, I'm very high on him. I understand LA had to move him to get Cap, and overall it worked out. But I think Washington got a very good player there. Ortiz Wagner, also a good player. I don't know how long he'll last in the league. I think he was picked a little too high last year. Could have been a second-round pick, but we'll see what happens. D'Anthony Melton for Memphis now being traded out. Let him develop. I do like his game. Grayson Allen, not sure all that stuff was in the Summer League. But besides that, he can still ball. He dropped 40 in one of the last games of the season. Big time player there. Along with, obviously, beside Anthony Simons, we saw Gary Trent, a lot of them lighted up there. Then I'm going to go Chimenzi Metu. He's in San Antonio. I got to give him upside there. How do you not? Jalen Brunson is another veteran. Not sure how long he'll last. Right next to him is Coach Antetokounmpo. Let him develop. Let him keep going, go. We'll see if maybe he teams up with Giannis out in Milwaukee at some point. I'm not 100% sure. Next up, I got Kyrie Thomas. I like the guy. He showed up a couple games for Detroit. I like his game a ton. Gary Trent, I do like him as well. He can shoot, can play, he can ball. I love that guy. Now, Theo Pinson for Brooklyn, he's got re-signed. His energy will keep him in the league a while, but he also can ball. That's the good part about him. Obviously, Devontae Graham, great player there. L.A. Kobo as well. Then Amari Spellman. We'll see what he does in Golden State. He has a chance to thrive out there. Being able to stretch the court out, shoot the three. I do love his game a ton. Next up, I got Javion Carter. Not sure how much longer he'll last. He'll be a good defensive presence for Phoenix. Him and Mikal Bridges should be something fun to watch. Duncan Robinson showed up big time in the Summer League. I like that guy's game. He can shoot. I think he needs to find a home. If it's Miami, somewhere else, give him a chance. But he might be able to skyrocket on this chart right here I just made. Then I'm going to go with Kevin Williams. Also a good player. Not sure if he'll be remaining with New Orleans. But it could be another one of those wave situations to be claimed quickly, just like Christian Wood was waived and claimed by Detroit real quickly. Gary Clark for Houston, another good player. Shake Milton to a 4-year deal, obviously, with Philadelphia. I like his game. Let him keep developing. And lastly, Jonathan Williams. He's a player that should be in the league for a few more years at least. He's just energy, ready to go every night in, night out. I love what that guy can bring to the table every night. So that's why I see the potential in this year's last 2018 rookie class. So that's what I got to say about them. But they have got a very bright future ahead of them. Coming up next, I'm going to give you guys a brief little free agency recap of what's gone down the past week. Not a lot of moves have happened, but let's find out. So stay tuned. Coming up right after this. Alright, so over the past week, we've seen a couple things. Utah has signed two guys, William Howard and Stanton Kidd. Kidd came off the G League or the Summer League team, didn't play a lot. William Howard's coming from overseas. Both guys are wings that are going to potentially compete for the roster. As for Sheik Diallo, he's going to the Phoenix Suns on a 2-year, $3.5 million deal. It's a minimum contract. Monty Williams was the man that drafted him out of New Orleans. He wants to keep developing Diallo. Sees him as for sure a rotational player, if not a starter. I like his game. 22 years old is it. He played big time in a lot of games last year. Christian Wood also played big time for New Orleans. He was waived and claimed quickly off waivers by Detroit. He killed it last year at the end of the year. Absolute monster. I'm surprised that they let him go. I really like his game. Excited to see what he does out in Detroit. After being released and waived, Shaquille Harrison was re-signed to Chicago. They mostly just needed to waive him so they could create the opening to go to the sign trade for Satoransky, move McCullough, and sign Thad Young. He's back now. He will have to compete for a roster spot, though. Now, Naz Reid, he was originally an undrafted free agent, obviously. He was able to be converted now over from a two-way contract, which he originally was signed to, now to a 4-year minimum deal. He'll be able to be in Minnesota developing, probably spend a lot of time in the G League, but he also could be in the rotation. We'll see. I like his talent, though. And then the big one, obviously, Justin Holiday is now signed with Indiana. Love that signing. He has a good team up with his brother Aaron Holiday in Indiana, but not just that, but he's also a very good defensive player. One of the top steal players, was huge in that. I mean, it was a big. Obviously, Chicago got a lot in return. Memphis gave up quite a bit to get Justin Holiday for a bench player. Justin Holiday is something that reminds me a lot of James Ennis, a really just good player on a playoff roster. I think he's going to fit in perfectly in Indiana, potentially even starts. We'll see how him and TJ Warren battle that out. And Doug McDermott. Now, non-guaranteed signings, you see Anthony Bennett. He's now going with Houston. See Devin Robinson going to Toronto. Cameron Payne with Toronto. A lot of these guys are all getting training camp deals with a chance to make the 15-man roster. Some more than others. Toronto obviously has some spots on the back end. Houston definitely has a lot of spots. Some of them, they're mostly just going to be sent over to the G League deal during the Exhibit 10. Jeremiah Martin is going to Miami. Chris Silver's Miami. And Kyle Alexander. Isaiah Pinheiro, he's going to Sacramento. Tariq Owens, he's going to Phoenix. Javonte Green to Boston. Amir Burma, he's going to Indiana. And Rivante Rice also going to Phoenix. Once again, they're on Exhibit 10 deals. Does not mean too much, but they do get to go to the summer. They get a guaranteed spot on the G League team with that team. So, for example, the Suns, they're going to go to Flagstaff and play for that squad. Obviously, you just see the different stuff. Toronto guys, they could go play for the Raptors 905, as Jordan Howard talked about on Wednesday's episode. A lot of stuff, but we'll keep seeing this stuff come in. Obviously, you're going to see training camp rosters starting to be filled out, but I still expect so many moves because a lot of rosters just do not look complete. We'll see what goes down, though. It's going to be interesting, but I'll keep you guys up to date on the next episode, on every episode up until the season. Coming up next is SchuZ Zone. I know you guys all love listening to this and what I got to say in this part. Well, I hit up some topics real quickly that the media did not cover enough. I'm going to hit up Pat Beverley buying his mom a car. I'm going to talk about Kemba getting number 8. Damian and what his game winner was for. James Harden, some of the stuff he's got going down. Kyle Lowry and his gifting and his injury and so much more. Coming up next, you're not going to miss SchuZ Zone as we wrap up this episode. So I've got 2 stories to talk about and truly what defines SchuZ Zone and why I made it. Players that deserve more credit for the good stuff they do, and this is Pat Beverley. Patrick Beverley just got a $40 million deal with the LA Clippers, well deserved there. He went and bought his mom a house. Obviously, he said that was his dream. Also, just it's about football. Mecole Hardman at the Kansas City Chiefs also did the very same thing. Big props to those guys. That's just awesome to see that. Obviously, a lot of these guys don't come from the best of places. It's unfortunate, but that's the cool thing about them. They're all strong believers. They're all go and do the best thing for the community. They just want to help out. And obviously, they did something that the mom that is always there for them, they go and repay. And that's something that's truly amazing to watch for anyone, and they need more attention for that. It's outrageous that the media can't just give a whole lot of attention to this and everyone gets alerts about this. But we found out about minor surgeries of players having just stuff like that. This horrible media stuff they want to blast on them. And I disrespect it, as you guys know, but that is what went down with Pat Beverley. Big props to him. Now, CP3 is likely to start the season with Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, a lot of people originally, I thought about this. They're not going to pan out well, but if they keep him, listen to this. I do like a CP3, Schroeder, Shai Alexander, Gallinari, and Steven Adams lineup. That is a very nice starting lineup. Then you got a whole lot of young guys developing. Obviously, you got whatever Darius Bazley turns out to be. Ferguson keeps developing. Diallo develops. You got a lot of this stuff. And then you got to remember, Andre Roberson hopefully is coming back. I don't know what shelf Roberson, the great defender he was, will be, because he's obviously missed a long time, almost 2 years. But we will see. Kemba Walker got number 8. And Antoine Walker blessed him with that number. Big time props. It might be interesting because I think Kemba has a chance of getting his jersey ultimately retired by the end of his career here in Boston. It will be interesting to watch, but I love that. It's obviously just a great thing that players show respect for that. It will be interesting to see, though, if that does indeed happen, if they somehow retire 2 8s or what goes down, we'll see. But Damian Lillard, he had a game winner, against Oklahoma, set them in the rebuild, as we like to label it as now. He said that was dedicated to Seattle. Take it as you want, but clearly that was the message being sent. James Harden has also now decided to invest and become in the ownership group for the 2 soccer teams in Houston, the Dynamo and Dash soccer teams. Big time move, just always wanted to improve the money. That's awesome businessmen. That's why I truly respect LeBron. I respect all these guys that do this. It's big time what they do. Now, Nike decided to file a counter lawsuit against Kawhi Leonard over the claw logo. We'll see how that continues to pan out. It will be interesting as it comes down to that. Now, also about James Harden. Harden and Anthony Davis have both withdrawn from Team USA. Australia has also now lost to Ben Simmons, and Tristan Thompson will not play for Canada. It's not that big of a deal. A lot of these countries, the teams will make it no matter what. Try to get into the Olympics. We'll see what happens, though. Now, Kyle Lowry, he underwent a procedure on his left thumb. He hopes to be ready for Team USA training camp. We'll see if that occurs or not. But that's what went down. But here's the true thing about Kyle Lowry. He went, go check it out. Please go look it up. It's honestly something you don't want to miss. Kyle Lowry sent a video to a superfan that is 92 years old. Albina, she was obviously a big fan of them, and he decided to go send her that video of him talking to her, just having a message with her, and also send her autographed jersey and picture. It's truly a big-time thing from a player that just won a championship. That's why I love seeing out of players. Because truly, players are not just people. They're not just players. They're people. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you look at this. We treat them as just talking. We just talk about them as like the nobodies. They're just robots. They're not. They're people just like you and me. They're people. They have hearts and they care, and that's what's awesome when you see them give back, and it just shows you. They do care about everyone, and they want what's best. So stop making this blasphemy and this ridiculousness about all these players. These people, these guys are great people. You need to know them and truly see them. Don't listen to what the media wants to portray them as, because that's their decision, and that's not always true. These guys are great people. And I applaud players like Kyle Lowry, Pat Beverley, and so many of these guys that do stuff like this. But that wraps up SchuZ Zone. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Obviously, it'll be on the end of every episode of SchuZ Views. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today on SchuZ Views episode 28. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. And I hope you guys are all also excited for the rest of the SchuZ Views series with Strive for Greatness and North Coast Blue Chips. I hope you guys all enjoyed the launch of it with Amire Robinson. And I hope you guys are all ready. Because on Monday, the very first Strive for Greatness player, and Isaac Peralta, comes on the show, discusses playing for Strive for Greatness and so much more. It's going to be something special. But if you guys want to stay up to date on that, stay up to date with the show, the breakdown, where I break down the highlight reels with some of the players right there with me on my YouTube channel. Well, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Zach Schumaker. Trust me, you're not going to miss it. Also, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker, for just random content sometimes. Or if you guys want to catch the shows, it's the breakdown. You're not going to miss it. The first episode is out with Cho Mario. Now, also you can go like my page on Facebook at SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker, the breakdown, all that good stuff. Also, whatever platform you may be listening to the podcast at, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Whatever you want to do to keep spreading SchuZ Views around the world. Let's make this thing big time, and I appreciate all you guys for being here along with me. Now, if you also want to get involved with SchuZ Views, I would love you guys to. I'd love to answer questions if you guys might have. Hear comments, hear whatever it might be, and I'll put them on the show in the very next episode. Go to voice messages in the Anchor app or Anchor website. It's big time. You're not going to miss that. Well, with that being said, everyone, I'll catch you guys all later. SchuZ is out. Everyone go be the light of God, and God bless.